The leftists on the internet will never cease to embarrass themselves, and we're here to expose it. Today, we're going to react to some woke TikToks on Speechless. Cut for time. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Speechless. Cut for time. I'm your host, Kev Phares, 22-year-old conservative college student out of Central Illinois, host of Speechless on Cities 92.9, the news and talk of Bloomington Normal. But not everything that I want to do can fit the platform of radio, or I can fit into my 2-hour show on Sundays from 3 to 5, which you can tune into here live. And so that's why I make these Cut for Time videos. And if you want to make sure that you don't miss a minute of anything, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, ring that notification bell, hit it to all. Also, almost to 1,000 subscribers. So keep on subscribing, guys. I'd really appreciate it. And to help grow that number, comment what you think on this video. Helps in the algorithm, and it lets me know what you think. And I want to know what you guys think. And share this video with your friends, everybody. But we're going to react to some woke TikToks here today. And when I say we, it's not only you and I, it's also my good friend, my boss, Kat Peterson. How's it going, Kat?
It's going well, Kev Phares.
Awesome. Well, everybody, make sure you go check out Kat Peterson on YouTube as well. It's Kat
Peterson.
Kat Peterson 929. I can forget that sometimes, everybody. But Kat Peterson 929. She does a morning show every morning, 6 to 9 a.m. live. You can catch it live or afterwards. Great stuff. But we're going to react to some woke TikToks here today. And so I'm going to put Kat through the ringer. I haven't even seen the extent of all of these. But let's take a look and a listen. Here's our first one. I believe this one is a mom trying to ask for help on teaching her kids why to hate the police. Yeah, let's take a look.
To my white moms. All right. How are we talking police to our children? Yeah. My daughter yesterday showed up with a little sticker that looked like a police badge. Apparently the police just showed up at her daycare. They ran their lights. They're like, whoop, whoop, we're here. And they were passing out badge stickers like they were candy. My daughter got to hold a walkie-talkie. She came home. She said, Mom, I'm a junior ranger. I need a police car. I was like, what the?
Based kid right there before we keep going. That kid's based. I need a police car.
I need a police car.
I'm a junior ranger. That's hilarious.
And okay. I'm just going to let her
We all know that my child's experience with the police is going to be vastly different than children that don't look like her.
Really?
We all know this.
Wait. But I guarantee you, the statistical probability is that there were kids of different ethnicities in this child's classroom. Mm-hmm. Did they not get a police badge?
Did they not?
Was there police brutality in the classroom? Were they treated different? What?
And this is why, would you tell your little girl? Did you tell her that she couldn't be a police officer? And they're going to sit there and say, oh, well, cops are bad. Cops are bad. Cops are bad. Well, you're not being a part of the solution, because the solution would be to get your little girl to become a police officer and be good and be a good cop. But now we've got people like you who are going to convince her that it's a terrible profession and that she shouldn't even join.
And that they're automatically racist no matter what.
Yeah. And nobody's doing anything to change.
I also love how this is what liberals do all the time. I've seen it in college classrooms. And you can see it on the screen right there. We all know this is okay. Or we all know this, okay. In terms of that, a student of color, a black kid, anything, will be treated differently than a white kid. We all know this. No, we don't. And I would say this to teachers. I'd have teachers in the classroom which would be like, well, we all know women's rights are under attack. We all know this, right? And I'd be like, and in the classroom, I'd be like, do we? Do we?
Well, and I love it because, oh gosh, I don't want to get down a rabbit hole, but people will say, there's a surge in electric vehicles. That's just an outright lie.
We all know this, right?
We're anticipating a surge of electric vehicles. Yeah. But then you look at the actual numbers and you're like, there's no demand.
Exactly.
Nobody wants one of these.
All right, let's keep hearing what this mom has to say. No, it's all good.
Okay. And I need to make sure I crush the idolization of police in her.
Crush it.
Nope, not happening. Because God forbid I raise a child that sees someone get murdered in the broad daylight by the police and blames that person. The police were just doing their job. No. So moms, what resources are we using? What books? What talking points? How do we discuss this? I had no idea it started this early. She is 4. Okay, please help me. Okay, thanks.
Okay, so this lady is wacko. First off, This lady is wacko. But here's the other things. Okay.
I had no idea it started this early.
So this lady has no concept of critical thinking. In fact, she doesn't want to have any concept of critical thinking. What do I mean by that? She doesn't want to even consider an alternative viewpoint and why somebody might hold that. And you know this because what she's doing is so she holds a belief, right? She holds a belief that all cops are racist, that they're bad, and that they will treat another student differently because of the color of their skin. But then in the same breath, she says, I don't have any rationalization for this belief. I don't have an explanation for it. I don't understand how to actually explain my belief. Can you guys tell me and validate my belief and give me the resources to validate my belief?
Yeah.
That's what she's saying. I want you to give me the resources to validate my belief, not say, hey, let's see why this is happening. What's going on here? No. It's entirely validate.
See, and I think the reason why her great roots are showing so prominently there is because she's always stressed out about trying to get the validation of others for her wacky ass beliefs. It's like, what are you? I have to shut down the idolization of police. Okay, first of all, saying you want to be a police officer, this little girl says, I want to be a police officer, or I want to be in a cop car.
Yeah.
That's not idolizing a police officer.
And the other thing too is
simply stating you want to be a cop.
Is let's be clear too. She didn't just say she wanted to stop the idolization. She wanted to crush it. She wanted to crush it. Monday. Crush the idolization of police. Monster smash.
A little girl
crush.
Excited about a sticker. I don't know if that classifies.
I guarantee the sticker could have said the sticker could have said a cab, and the mom would have been happier. But it also would have the daughter would have had no idea what it meant and just been happy she got a sticker.
Yes.
That's a 4-year-old for you, everybody.
Yeah.
The final thing too, I want to say before we get to the next one, because it ties into the next one a little bit, is thank God for that classroom. Look, I don't know everything that goes on in that classroom, but the little I do know that they brought in cops to get good for them. Yeah. I talk a lot, and in the next one, we're going to talk more about the bad crap that can go on in a classroom. That was a good classroom.
Good classroom.
At least for a day. Yeah. But now let's look at this classroom and what was going on National Coming Out Day.
God.
Happy National Coming Out Day. It was earlier this month. And also, I'm going to take off my little thing on there so you can see it says Black, Gay, and Thriving at the bottom.
Black, Gay, and Thriving. Yep. So what are the chances this guy voted for Donald Trump in 2016?
Oh,
probably pretty slim.
I'd say within zero, somewhere around there. All right, let's watch.
Now, sissy, that wow.
Phenomenal editing skills. What? What?
Oh gosh, the mop on top of his head just absolutely kills me. Oh my god.
What are your thoughts? This is an actual elementary school teacher in New York. Elementary. This is elementary.
Okay, first of all, and I love this. So quick story. My folks came up to visit me from a rural area. I live in a city. And they came up to visit me. We went out to eat, and two trans women, men,
biological men who cosplay as women.
Yes, there was a host who was a biological man cosplaying as a woman who sat us, and then there was a bus boy who was a biological man masquerading as a woman, who would bust our table. The guy who bust our table saw my fingernails. I'm a big nails.
Yeah, show them to the camera. Make sure everybody can see. There you go.
Right, they're purple. Yep. So he looks at my nails and he goes, "Oh my god, I love them!" And is screaming in this restaurant. And I was like, "What is going on?"
Yeah.
Because I love your nails, and I'm gonna get purple next. Look at mine. Mine are sequins, and I'm like, what? The thing about these people who dress up as women, gay men, flamboyant men, trans men, they don't understand what an actual woman, how many times, in your mom, right? Does she wear crazy sequence? Does she look like a Bratz
No,
doll?
exactly. There's even like, so before like this whole trans thing, that reminds me, before this whole trans thing was like major, and there was John Mulaney, who's a comedian who used to like write for SNL and stuff. Really funny guy, actually. I think a little bit more liberal, but he in like 10 years ago, he had a bit where he talked about, he was like, you know, like, I like drag bars and everything, but why does every drag person have to be like the same kind of woman, like a big and brassy woman, like and very flamboyant and
Yes.
like, oh honey, and all that stuff. Why couldn't you just have like
And actual women don't act like that.
a drag queen that's just like, I'm gonna wear a hoodie and yoga pants, and that's gonna be my day. Like, and it was really funny. I always loved it, but I'm sure he'd get canceled for it now. But
it's so true. Well, like, who wears that? And like, he's wearing a green cardigan. Like, me being a female, I look at that and I'm just like, oh my gosh.
Well,
I'm like,
and the thing is, Kat, is because it's
doing?
ironic because these are the same people that will say that gender doesn't really exist, that you can exist on the spectrum and you can be non-binary. You don't have to conform to traditional gender roles. But at the same time, the people that are identifying as women, in the same breath, the people that are identifying as women have to present themselves as what a traditional woman would usually wear, dresses and high heels and getting their nails done and makeup and all that stuff.
Yeah, but they do it in an exaggerated way. So it's like
it's a caricature of a woman.
Yes, it's not even real.
Mhm.
And like, that's my issue. Like, you're gonna sit there and demand that I call you a woman, but you don't even, you're like a cartoon, dude.
Yeah.
You're not even a person. Like, I'm having a hard time even calling you a person because you are straight up acting like a cartoon or a character.
Mhm.
Like, I can't even sit down and have a like, had the guy been like, oh, I like your nails, where do you go? Which is typically what women tell or ask each other, you know, when they say nails that they like. That's a normal conversation another woman would have. If you want me to refer to you as a woman, start acting like one.
Seriously.
Like,
well, there's that. The other thing, because we went on a little bit of a tangent there, but I want to bring it back to also, okay, so he's not only with all the iconography and everything of the pride, the trans, all that stuff, but he's celebrating National Coming Out Day in his elementary school classroom. Let's break that down for a second. So
by himself.
So, well, by himself, but I'm sure that he's going to bring it up to his kids. I mean, if he's posting a TikTok and he's got all this stuff around his classroom about being gay. So in an elementary school, kindergarten through 5th grade, what is National Coming Out Day? National Coming Out Day is basically a day to celebrate people coming out about their sexuality, to identify as lesbian, gay, whatever. So with elementary school students, he believes, he, she, they, I don't know for that individual, but believes that it is a necessary topic to discuss with those kindergarten through 5th graders. So between the ages of like 5 and 11, maybe 12, their sexuality, and that they should be true. Why is that important? Why?
Because they're predators, Kevin. That's what it is. They are predators, and these kids can't go anywhere. And notice how he's alone in his classroom. I'd be curious how many
with the fun interpretive dance he did as well.
Adult friends. How many adult friends does this man have? Probably 0. And that's the fact. And like, I'm sorry. And I know people are going to be like, okay, how could you like this, you know, the stereotype of gay people being predators. I'm not stereotyping gay people, but it's just true.
Not all gay people are predators, because there are straight people that are predators too. But anybody who wants to talk about sexuality, National Coming Out Day, anything like that with children, like very, especially elementary age children, is in some way a predator or an ally to predators.
Yes.
So that's the way I see it. All right, we got one more TikTok to react here. Let's take a look and a listen here. I don't know what this lady's going to say, but it surprises me she's a liberal, because she is actually quite attractive in my opinion.
Her upper lip. I don't know, Kev.
I'm sorry, I'm not that nitpicky, but
where is it?
Things I hate about America after spending lots of times overseas is what it says there at the top. Let's listen.
Things I hate about America after spending lots of time overseas, part 1. This one might piss people off, but the patriotism. A flag on every single street is just simply unnecessary. American flag hats, the American apparel, just, it's everything. You know what I'm talking about. We push this American agenda on everyone who lives here so hard. And when we go to other countries, it's just not pushed that hard. When you go other countries, they rep their country without being literally annoying about it. Number 2, the English language obsession. Yes, I'm not an idiot. I know that English is the language of America. But at the same time, don't you think
It's actually not true. We do not have an English. I just wanted to, and we'll talk about everything that she says, but just before we go further, that's actually not true. While the majority of Americans do speak English and it's kind of customary to learn English in America, we do not have a national language that's defined in law. So, no, English, while it might be socially more of the language, it is not in any way the national language of America.
it's a problem that almost 80% of America, of our country, literally only speaks English? Because if you don't think that's a problem, then you've never left America. Because I can tell you right now that it is very much a problem. At the bare minimum, we should be taught on a much higher level, at least one or two other languages, and we're just simply not. And then we get upset with tourists when they don't speak perfect English when they come here. And it's just out of control because we as Americans, when we go to other countries, what language do we expect them to speak? Always English. Always.
Okay, so there's, interestingly, I actually have some things I agree with her on. Now, but not for the same premise. So first off, the patriotism thing is BS. Every country should have a level of patriotism, respect for their country, and want to advance their country. If anything, I believe an issue in America right now is a lack thereof of patriotism, and it's because of messaging like this. When it comes to the language thing, like I said, it's not necessarily a problem that a lot of our country speaks English. English is it's not the most spoken language in the world, but it is a dominant language. And but I do agree with the fact that we should be teaching people more than one language, simply because it increases your level of understanding of not only another language, but also your own, and also the idea of language in general. You can learn a lot more in knowing multiple languages. Like it's just smart to do that, but not for the reason that she said that. And also, I've never heard anybody. It's a common trope and almost an irony when people say like, oh man, you're a tourist. Why don't you speak perfect English? Why don't you speak perfect English? I've actually never heard anybody like get genuinely hardcore upset about somebody not speaking perfect English. Your reaction, Kat?
Yeah, well, I get upset about the customer service thing. That blows my mind because it's all outsourced, and then I start to think about, why we have no Americans filling these jobs in the customer service industry. So, the point is, she lacks an understanding about borders and about keeping culture in. So borders are wonderful, and it's not just so that way we keep the bad guys out, the good guys in. It's not just a national security thing, it's a cultural idea. Having a border means, hey, you have your culture, you have your society, but we do things differently here in America. So if I go to Mexico, most likely they're not, eating steaks and shooting guns. Okay, like that's an American.
Unless they're in the cartel.
That's an American, yeah. Unless you're in the Mexican cartel, right? But like as a pastime, an American pastime, you go to the range, you shoot some guns, you eat a steak, burger, you have a cookout, and you shoot fireworks on the 4th of July. Okay, these are like American tropes.
Yeah.
These are American culture staples.
Having
right?
a burger and grilling out, pool party,
There's
thing like that. Yeah.
nothing wrong with that. And what she doesn't understand is that these other countries also have their tropes. She's just not from that country, and she doesn't understand.
And she also views it through the eyes of a tourist.
Yes.
Not as a citizen.
Yes. And the only way that she would be able to know what their tropes are would be to have been born there and to live there permanently. So she is experiencing something very different as a tourist. But there are things like, for example, the Palestinians, right? They have a trope of, hey, if you're gay, we're gonna throw you off a building.
Yep.
That's the way of
cultural norms. We have cultural norms in America. Every country has cultural norms. We're actually taught it in a lot of business classes at ISU. We're taught like, hey, if like you need to look up, if you're like going to be working internationally with business, you need to look up, like if you're going to go over to China or Japan, shaking hands might not be the way you greet somebody. It might be a bow or something like that. Or certain phrases and words like might come off as offensive in that country. So yes, it's like you said, it's just cultural norms. And I think Vivek Ramaswamy, and while he's kind of teeter-tottering in what I believe him as, I think he got one thing right in a lot of the debates and the things he said, in that America has lost the national identity and we are in an identity crisis.
Yes,
And-
and she's attacking that identity
Yep.
because she
And
either
she
doesn't
is
like
a victim.
It,
She is a victim of that crisis. That's what I'd say.
yeah, she doesn't like it, or she's told not to like it.
Exactly.
And I'm sorry if you feel left out of the club, honey, but like either get into the club or leave.
Yep.
I'm okay with that. Like if you don't like the cultural norms here in America, then live somewhere else.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Everybody, I don't know what you guys think, but we obviously just shared what we did. Don't forget to check Kat Peterson out on YouTube at Kat Peterson 929. You can check out her shows and everything, her videos, great content. Also, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, comment what you think about all of these wackos, which I'm always going to say they're wackos, a lot of them. And then share this video with your friends so we can keep showing people just how crazy these liberals are. It's crazy. And they're willing to publicly say it, which is another just crazy thing to me. But we got to get out of here, everybody. Until next time, like I said, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment, check out some other videos. And this has been Speechless. Cut for time.